Alright, groundhog ballast or regular operation. Before operating this manual, read under the safety section of this manual. Before operation, proper use of this machine for any type of operation can cause serious injury or death. It is always good practice to become totally familiar with the machines you are going to operate. Alright, the controls of the groundhog are located in the various areas of the operation cab. In some instances are located remotely on the machine. Refer to the following pages for the information locating on the control. Alright, this is shows the boom on the side view, the inner door, the ballast, the swing, the tie jumper, the right blade and the low left blade, front door, the swing, ballast swing, wing, ballast wing shown on the up position, shown on the down position. Groundhog ballast or regulate machine will work right in the boom. Alright, the ballast wing. The ballast wing is designed to transfer the ballast with the tow line to the shoulder, from the shoulder to the tow line, to carry the ballast from one location to another. It consists of the front, rear, and inner doors. The inner and the outer doors are tiltable, and the outer door that rotates the front and the rear doors rotate. They are able to form the box of the inner door or in the line or with the outer door. When not in use, the ballast wing is pivoted up and locked in place with a mechanical lockup. The broom is designed to remove the ballast from the top of the ties. It can be adjusted in the height and tilt with separate controls in the operation cab. On some machines, as soon as an option, the broom is bi-directional and means in functioning in forward and travel in reverse by use of the button in operation station. Stone deflector deflects room ballast and distributes across the track to fill it in the voids and the cribs. Here you have an outer door, a boom and a tube, and the front top door, inner door, outer door, rear template door, front template door, the boom, the rotary plate, and the side view. Here shows a picture of the broom housing. It shows the broom housed, the pivoting switch, an up and down cylinder, tilt cylinder, adjustment screw, a broom motor housing, a broom housing, and a stone deflector. The front ballast and plow. The purpose of the front ballast plow is, in one, to transfer the ballast from one side of the track to the other, to transfer the ballast from one side of the rails to the other, outside of the rails to the outside of the inside, and eliminate the windrows, and consistent with the left and right plow blade. The position of each blade is individually set on by controls of the operator cab. A lift to the cylinder controls the height of the plow, does not allow the separate control of the height from left to the right in blades. The rubber hose on each of the blades are designed to sweep ballast away from the rail base of the tie plates. The tie jumper allows the smooth travel over the ties during the ballast plowing operation. The two manual adjusting screws of the front plow carrier frame not shown allow the operator to lock the plow in the height at a set height. You have your blades, which push the ballast down. They plow the blades down. It's got rubber lifter arm, the link arm, and the lock strut. The front blade, the tie jumper, front mount. And lock strut on the side of it, lock strut, link arm, front mount, lift arm, wire rope. The main control panel: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and 8. And 9 and 10. 9 is below the station, and 10 is all the way to the far right. Table 1, engine controls. Engine controls are table 1. Table 2, working pressure gauges. Pressure gauges up here. They're marked with 300 psi and stuff like that. 3, left valve bank. Left valve bank. 4, the center valve bank. Bank. Right valve bank. So these levers right here in 3, 4, and 5 are from left to right. Your bank on the plow blade. You got your 1, which is your control panel, pressure institution. 6 is wipers. 6 is wipers. 7, warning light panel. Warning light panel to the right between the control bank and the right bank, center bank and the right bank, and the engine controls. 8. The pump lights and horns above the warning light panel. 9. The brake control. Brake control is under the center valve bank. Track drive controls number 10 over here on the right hand side. Table 1, main control console, engine pump controls and gauges, starting out with the engine oil pressure, engine coolant temperature with a tachometer, fuel level, air pressure gauge, valve meter, vacuum track drive lights, beacons, right work, left work, horn, and emergency pump with a speedometer. Shows on the location 1 on the map. The tachometer symbol also instrument in the symbol indicates the engine is in 100 indicates the engine's 100 RPMs, blocks the number of the general indication of engine hours. Engine temperature indicates the temperature of the engine cooling, normally reading 160 to 185 degrees or 71 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit for water-cooled engines. The voltmeter indicates the voltmeter of the battery, normally 13 to 15 volts. Engine oil pressure indicates the oil pressure does not indicate the oil level of the measure on the PSI graduation, normally readings of 40 to 60 PSI. A fuel gauge measures the level of the diesel fuel in the fuel tank, do not allow to go in the red zone. Speedometer is marked with the miles per hour, and the air pressure gauge is a circle with 3 direct arrows under it. Vacuum gauge, 2 inner circles. A starter switch is a crank. Turn clockwise. Press and hold the start button. Enter either quick start or button optional. Normal engine stop button cut off. This page is intentionally left blank. Table 2 is the center control console working pressure gauges. It shows the charge pressure line of the left hand and right hand valve, track travel, broom drive, and the screw drive PSIs underneath that. Functional description. Table 3, hydraulic controls left valve blank. They start from 1 through 7. This is found from the left valve blank. Number 1, moving from left to right. On the left valve blank, as the rear door extender, it pushes, releases, and pulls. Extend the rear door, push to extend the rear door, release to move the stop at last position, and retracts the rear door as pull. If you on the second one, the outer door rotate, you push it for rotating outdoor clockwise, release it, the movement stops at the last position, and pull moves the outer door the counterclockwise. Front door extended, push or extended front door. The pushing the third one in creates the front door to extend from the front door. Releasing it moves the stop at the last position. Pull retracts the front door. 4 from left to right. Inner door tilting, pushes tilt inner door out, releases movement, stops at the last position, pulls and tilts the inner door in. 5, the outer door tilt. Push. If you push it, it tilts the outdoor in. Release it, moves the stop at the last position. Pulls, tilts the outer door out. 6, ballast wing in and out. Push moves the wing out. Release moves the stop at the last position. Pull moves the wing in. And the ballast wing left, the farthest to the right on the left-hand bank. In controls, push lowers the wing. Release stops at the last position, and pull raises the wing. Table 4, hydraulic control center valve, starting from 1 through 7, from left to right. The broom lift is push the lower broom in, push for a lower broom assembly. Release the move stops at last position. Pull raises the broom assembly. Broom rotate, push the broom, tilts the broom down. Release moves the stop at last position. Pull tilts the broom up. Left plow extended. Push left plow extended. Third control to the right in the center control of the valve bank. Push extends forward to the left of the plow blade. Release moves to stop at the last position. Retracts backward left on a pull. Front plow lift. Push lowers the front plow. Release moves to stop at the last position. Pull raises the front plow. Right front plow blade extended push. The fifth one from the right on the center valve bank. Right from the plow blade extend push the extended forward right plow blade. Release moves to stop at the last position. Pull retracts the backward of the right plow blade. Sixth, the control valve, from the left to right on the center control valve. Push operate rotates the chute clockwise. Releases movement stop at the last position. Pull rotates and shoot the counterclockwise. Shoot counterclockwise. 7. The turntable lockout. Push not used. Manual return to the center. Operator must return the valve to the center position once the machine has been rotated. Pull unlocks the turntable valve located near the turntable. Not all the machine functions slowly down until the valve handle is returned to the center neutral position. Table 5. Hydraulic controls from the right valve bank. Far to the right on the first valve on the left of the right hand control valve bank is the ballast wing lift. Push lowers the wing. Release moves to stop at the last position. Pull raises the wing. Ballast wing in and out. If you push it will move the wing out. If you release it, the move will stop at the last option. If you pull it, the move will wing in. The third valve control valve in the right-handed control valve bank is the outdoor tilt. If you push it, the tilt's outdoor in. Release moves to stop at the last position. Pull tilts the outer door out. 4. Inner door tilt pushes and tilts the inner door in. Releases movement stops at the last position. Pull tilts inner door out. 5. Front door extended. Push the fifth control on the right-handed side of the control right-hand control valve bank. The fifth one from the left to the right. The front door extended. Push extends out the front door. Release moves to stop at the last position. Pull retracts on the front door. 6. Outer door rotate. Push. If you push the sixth one in, it rotates outdoor clockwise. Release it and moves to stop at the last position. Pulls rotate outer door clockwise. 7. Rear door extended. Push and extends out the rear door. Release moves it to stop at the last position, and pull retracts it into the rear door. Table 6. The turntable and wiper controls. You see the left front and wiper, front, left, and right wiper with a plow and turntable broom, and push pull the lock. Functional description is itself. Wiring indication and lighting. You see emergency fuel pump switch for left to right. Implements 3 buttons: a broom, auger on, and suspension. Lower turntable, lower air pressure, high coolant temperature, low engine reserve. Parking brake, air cleaner filter, return line filter, case drain filter, track driving pressure filter. Okay, these instruments once again with the broom on, the auger on, the suspension lock up, the low turntable, the parking brake, the low engine oil pressure, the high coolant temperature, low air pressure, air coolant, air cleaner filter, return line filter, case drain filter, track drive, charge pressure, open and open, open and open. Table 8, miscellaneous electronic controls. You have a set of 12 dials here with an emergency stop. Table 9, the front console operation, a brake and a parking brake button. Table 10, the side sole controls. First gear, low gear, using during the ballast when encountering extremely large heavy ballast. 2, use during the normal working conditions. Third gear, use the track level when speed is not necessity. 4 is the high gear used in a high-speed travel. Right hand seat control box propulsion controls. Kind of funny. It's got a turtle, and forward reverse. Controls forward propulsion machine. The further the joystick is moved, the faster the machine travels forward. Rabbit indicates fast, turtle indicates slow, normal. Control reverse propulsion of the machine. The further forward the joystick moves, the farther as the machine travels forward. Rabbit indicates fast, turtle indicates slow. Remote controls and indicators need picture. It needs a picture. The emergency pump is optional. Located on the frame near the engine pump is used there for the loss of system pressure. Movement of the hydraulic cylinders is necessary. System pressure is supplied by the pumping hand lever by switching an electrical pump. The top-off pump is optional. The top-off of the pump can either be an electrical or manual pump that is used to filling the hydraulic tank. 2 is the battery disconnection switch located next to the battery box. To the 2 position switch marked on and off. This plaque. They must be off for the cover lock during service. Hydraulic oil tank sighting level and optional hydraulic oil tank sight level and optional oil temperature gauge. The located hydraulic oil tank indicates the level of the hydraulic oil in the tank. Located on the bottom of the hydraulic oil sight level indicates the temperature of the hydraulic oil. Normal operating temperature is 80 degrees to 150 degrees or 49 to 66 degrees Celsius. Air system drain valve located on the right hand side of the frame is in front of the ISO red tote. Open the valve to relieve the air pressure. Air tanks drain. Pull the cords located immediately above the air system drain valve to pull on each of the cord to drain water out of the air tanks. The purge tank drain. The purge tank drain cord is located on the frame but on the right front of the crawl and the engine. Pull on the cord to drain the tank. Alright, warning. Exhaust emissions caused by the use of this machine may cause cancer, birth defects, and other reproductive harmful if inhaled. Caution: before starting a new overhauled engine that has been stored, and consult the engine manufacturer's manual initial start instruction. Failure to follow these instructions can result in serious engine damage. Engine warning operation. 1. Check the oil level, engine and coolant level, fuel oil level, hydraulic oil level before attempting to start the engine. Ensure that the pump suction line gate valves are fully open. Ensure that the parking brake is applied. Track travel pump control is neutral and track travel motor is control is at low position. Set the master cutoff switch to the on position. Disengage the clutch if the clutch is provided. Settle the throttle control slightly open. Depress the shuttle down override holds the machine without shutdown override goes to the next step. Turn the ignition to clockwise to start the engine. In cold weather, when the engine is difficult to start, depress either the assist button while holding over the engine. Note, either assist button is optional. Release the shutdown override when the engine's warning light goes out. Allow the engine to idle until it warms up, then bring the engine slowly to the full RPM. Before the startup check on the next page. Perform the next startup check on the next page. Table 13, startup checks and procedures. Gauge readings, tachometer, hour meter, voltmeter, engine temperature, engine oil pressure. The tachometer, hour meter at 2250 RPM is underloaded. Voltmeter 13 to 15 volts. Engine temperature 160 to 185 degrees Celsius. Oil pressure to 40 to 60 psi. 3 to 4 bar. 276 to 414 kiloparts. Little horn status, light and horn status. Light is functional, travel lights, working lights, brake mark lights, horns, alarms, function, travel alarm, horn buttons, all box, and horn box, remote operator box. Operator control functions, foot switches and air brakes. Lockup devices engaged, front ballast, plow, side ballast, profilers, turntable ballast, snow broom, stone deflectors, suspension lockout if so is required, high speed valve plow, V-plow if equipped. High-speed on-side plow if is equipped. Multiple position plow if is equipped. Side wing plow if is equipped. Snow screw blower if so is equipped. Snow spreader if is so equipped. Preparing the machine for work. As with any machine, the pre-operational checks and preventive maintenance should be performed before using this machine. We suggest that you follow the guidelines listed below before actually operating the machine. Position the machine on level track so that the fluids can be accurately checked and filled if necessary. See the towing section if the machine is to be towed to a work site. Know and understand the use of the machine's control instruments as described earlier in this section. Perform the pre-operational inspection for the entire machine as specified in Table Op 11. Can on the next page find defects and correct them before the serious damage or failure results. If necessary, follow any of the applicable instructions under the maintenance for extreme conditions. Before applicable preventive maintenance procedures and maintenance and service section, be ready to operate the machine with an safety conscientious attitude. Understand the use of the machine lockup. See the lockup section. Make sure that the unit is set up for the rail size being worked on. Adjustments, if required, are described in machine setup. Wear proper safety clothing, safety goggles, chemical-resistant gloves. Determine who will be in the command of the position for operating the controls for the machine, both at the travel station and at the workstation. Before you begin the pre-operational check, you should become familiar with the controls that you will be checking. Knowing these controls and their functions may be helpful in the troubleshooting of the machine at a later time. Table 14 is a pre-operational checklist. The NARDA recommends that the following checklist is performed without electrical power due to the possible battery drain. The main control panel status is gauges checked for broken glass. Emergency stop push button is pulled out. The parking brake button is pushed in. The control panel switches are set for the pump on-off switches on-off, ignition switches off, track drive set as neutral, traffic lights are off, lockup switch gauges engaged, works lights are off, emergency stop button push is pulled out, and turntable cylinder lock switches on the on position. Machine fluid check is see recommended fluids in the maintenance section. Hydraulic oil tank is full. Fuel tank oil reserve is full. Machine inspection. Inspect for leaks. Pay particular attention to the hydraulic and fuel lines. Inspect all controls, wiring, switches for securing mounting. Battery disconnect switch off. Lockups. Failure to engage all lockup devices before propelling at travel speed can result in injury to the person or damage to the machine. Use the following procedures to install or remove lockups. Note within the exception of the suspension lockout, and all lockups are to be in place during travel. All lockups are to be in place during travel. The front ballast plow is raise the front of the plow to the maximum height. Engage the attachment, locking using the control in the cab. Lower the plow onto the lock. Side ballast wing and reversible snow wing. The raised wing to engage the hook over the mating portion of the A-frame. Lower the hook slowly by sliding the wing in. Ballast and snow broom. Attach the safety chains. Raise the broom to the maximum height. Engage the attachment lock using the control in the cab. Lower the broom onto the locks. Higher speed V plow. Raise the plow to the maximum height. Engage the attachment lock and use the control in the cab of the lock or plow onto the lock. High speed one-sided plow. Raise the plow to the maximum height. Engage the attachment lock using the control in the cab. Lower the plow onto the lock. Multi-position plow. Raise the plow to the maximum height. Engage the attachment lock and using control in the cab. Lower the plow onto the lock. The turntable. Attach the safety chains. Raise the turntable to the maximum height. Engage the attachment lock and use the control cab. Lower the turntable onto the hooks. Note that the turntable locks must be removed prior to lowering the locks or the locks will be damaged. Alright, travel. It is important that you read about and understand all operating conditions, cautions, warning, and dangers before traveling. To avoid serious injury, death, make certain that the area around and under the machine is clear of all personnel instructions before traveling or working. Warning: failure to engage all lockup devices before propelling at a travel that can result in an injury to the personal or damage or extensive damage to the machine. Engine speed settings are slow and fast. When traveling either in work or traveling modes, you will have to engage the speed into the fast position. Propelling the track travel operation. Before propelling this machine, make certain that all the lockups are in the proper position. Check the suspensions that it is not locked up for the machines with optional suspension lockouts. All movements of the pump and the motor control levers carried out and the following instruction must be carried out slowly and smoothly. Ensure that the engine is full throttle. The hydraulics are warmed up. Refer to the engine startup earlier in this section. Select the following depending on this type of the transmission provided on the machine. For machines with a 4-speed manual transmission, engage the 4-speed mechanism transmission by setting the transmission lever in the desired position as indicated in the decal. Note that never shift the mechanical transmission on the fly. For the machines with the power shift transmission, set the transmission selector switch to 1 or first or low. Release the parking and emergency brake to accelerate. Slowly move the pump control lever to if desired under the required speed is attained, and then select from the following depending on the type of the transmission provided on your machine. A for machines with 4-speed manual transmission, if this more speed is required for after the pump control lever has been moved to its fullest extent, the move of the motor control lever from the low position turtle towards the high position rabbit. B for machines with a power shifting transmission, if the speed is required for the set the transmission to the second high and adjust the pump control lever to the attained if the desired speed. Note that the transmission may be shifted from low to the high at any speed. However, it is recommended that the machine be at or near the maximum travel speed before upshifting. To decelerate, select the following depending on the type of the transmission provided on your machine. For machines with a 4-speed manual transmission, slowly move the motor control lever to the high rabbit to the low turtle. If the speed required after the motor control lever has been moved all the way to the low position, slow move the pump control lever towards the neutral position. B for machines with a power shifting transmission, slowly move the punch control lever to the neutral position. If in downshift to the low, if desired, first slow the machine down to the 5 miles per hour, less using the pump control lever. Do not shift from from a high to the low at speeds greater than 5 miles per hour. To change direction, bring the machine to a complete stop. Move the pump control lever in the desired direction. Follow the instructions outlined in item 4. Never change the direction of the pump machine without first bringing the machine to a complete stop. Brake or working surface brakes. The machine is equipped with a fail-safe brake system. If there is loss of air pressure, the brake or spring applied. Note that the track drive system is strong enough to overpower the braking system. For this reason, always neutralize the track drive system slowly before applying the brakes. 1-foot pedal operates the surface brakes. For normal braking operation, either the brake pedal may be depressed to apply the brakes, or releasing the brakes pedal release the brakes. Parking and emergency brake. The parking brake is activated by the valve located on the control panel. This valve exhausts air from the spring brake chamber and permits spring force to apply the surface brakes. To operate the parking brake. 1. Push the valve to apply brakes. 2. Push the valve to release brakes. Always apply the parking emergency brake before leaving the cabin and when stopping extended periods. Machine setup.